Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm Nancy Fox, Fractional Connections. It's Monday, so it's LinkedIn Live. How are you today? So glad to have you. Hope you had a great weekend. As you know, every Monday I go live with either I'll give you some of my own strategies, tips, and tools for growing a fractional and outsourced business, or I'll interview some great people like our guest today, Nick Bennett. And today we're here to talk about a topic that actually I know nothing about. But I'm curious about it, and I was connecting with Nick, and I was listening to him talk about TikTok, and I went, I've got to learn about this, and I think maybe we all need to learn about this. Even if we choose to not approach TikTok or use it, it's certainly good to know about it. So, Nick, welcome. You are the anonymous marketer. I can't wait to welcome, first of all. And
Thank you.
what does it mean to be an anonymous marketer? It's usually the opposite of what we want to do, right? Why was that brand yours?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. And for me, it was something where I always, as a marketer for the last 12 years for tech companies, I've always had so many questions that I was afraid to ask because I didn't want to be judged. And when the pandemic started, I feel like communities were on the rise. Everyone was starting communities, everyone was turning towards communities. And I feel like, yeah, that was great that as an individual, you could turn to communities to ask these questions. However, you were still not anonymous. And over time, more and more people joined them, and your possible colleagues were in there, your boss was in there possibly. So at that point, it's like, I still don't want to ask these questions. And I said to myself, you know what? Like, it would be great to have a show and a podcast where people could anonymously ask questions on some of the toughest things that they're facing today. And we just talk about it. And it's not about the right or the wrong answer. It's about starting a conversation for the community, really. And I'm excited for that because I think I actually just recorded the first episode, and we talked about career growth as a marketer. And I feel like that's so important in today's world, especially with all the layoffs that are happening in tech. You have to take your career into your own hands. And what does that exactly mean? And I had a blast talking about it.
That's so amazing. Now, I did not set this up, everybody, but the fact that you brought up community is really relevant. We'll talk about that toward the end because you'll see why it's such a synchronicity that you brought that up. And I also appreciate a lot about what you're saying about anonymity, because I think a lot of us are really afraid to make a mistake in public, or to look foolish, or to look silly or stupid or uninformed, and we're worried about that, being judged or being ridiculed. So I think it's really a great point you brought up. So today, of course, we're here to talk about TikTok, and tell me a little bit about how you got engaged in that platform, and what is it exactly? Who should be looking at TikTok? Because I have an account on there, and I get all these notifications, and I'm doing nothing because I don't know what I'm doing. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've had a TikTok for a while, and for me, it was always just a thing to scroll through before bed or something, and I would just watch these funny videos that made me laugh. And I had a lot of people that I knew in the B2B world that was saying, "Hey, we're turning to TikTok to drive actual impact for the business." And I said, "What do you mean? I don't see anyone on B2B on TikTok. I just see all these funny videos and things that like are for entertainment, really." And it was funny because I started to search certain keywords around B2B marketing, and you'd be surprised at how many people are on there creating marketing content for the B2B audience or even B2C. It's like there's so many people that are just sharing they've been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, and they're just sharing all of these incredible insights with others. And I think it's important to know that TikTok isn't for, the one type of, millennials or whatever. It's like anyone can use TikTok, and it doesn't matter because it's such a widely adopted platform that you can use it to drive actual impact. It's all about the type of content that you want to create. And so I started to really just create. At the time, it was audio trends. So like they have a lot of these audio trends, and I would just try to make them funny to fit what was happening in the marketing world. and not make them like memes or anything, but it was just short little 30-second videos that I thought were funny. And they started to pick up some traction. And before I knew it, I had, almost over 2,000 followers on
That's
there.
amazing.
And yeah, it was crazy.
So one of the things that I've been really uncomfortable about regarding TikTok is I thought, well, you have to be funny, and I don't think I'm very funny, and I can't think of anything funny. So can you be on TikTok and not be like humorous or just like think of very creative ways to, to post a video? Like, and I'm shocked to hear that you're saying that B2B has a high opportunity, potential, because I didn't realize that. I thought, okay, maybe B2C. Say a little more about B2B, and also, do you have to be funny? Like, what do you post on there? What do you do?
Yeah, so you don't have to be funny at all. As long as you're delivering value, which you're doing this in your everyday life. All you're doing is just being comfortable with recording yourself on video and posting it for the world to see. I mean, no different than what we're doing right now. Someone could take this and put it on TikTok or something like that. And chop it up and use micro content, things like that. But for me, like a lot of the content that I create on TikTok now is not funny or like entertainment. All I'm really doing is taking my LinkedIn posts that are text only, and I'm recording myself on video talking about those LinkedIn posts, and I'm just repurposing it. It's
Wow.
literally word
So,
for word.
wow. So you could literally take a LinkedIn post, repurpose it by videotaping yourself. And does it have to be you on video, or can it be audio only?
So it has to be you on video. However, what you could do is you can record yourself doing the audio version of it, but just having a picture of, I don't know, like
Or
some random thing or something like
got
that.
it.
But you on video would do a lot better. And I try to keep them between 30 seconds and 60 seconds. And it's honestly, it's gone really well.
Are there limits? Is it an ideal limit, or is it a required limit to a TikTok post?
So it's an ideal limit. I believe on TikTok you can actually post up to 10-minute videos now. It used to be 3 minutes, but they increased it to 10.
And what kinds of content will get the right kind of engagement? How do you target your audience on TikTok?
Yeah, so I try to relate it back to like what marketers are doing in their worlds, whether it's demand gen or like demand gen versus lead gen, how to focus on community. It's really all these things that I'm talking about anyways. I just record myself on video and trying to do it in a short and concise way so that it gets to the point versus a long drawn out thing. And I feel like that is what does really well. The posts that have done extremely well for me are when I talk about personal stories and I tie that back to a marketing point. Because people love the personal aspect of it. And then if you can deliver a value add through the end of it and have a CTA to either go follow you to learn more about XYZ or go check out the link in my profile or whatever it is, you start to create a funnel of all these leads as well.
In your profile, can you create more than one? How do you get people to link? What's the link situation on TikTok?
So I believe you have to have over 1,000. I think it's 1,000 followers to be able to have a link in your profile. And so for me, I link to my link tree, which has all my resources in it, which
Right.
I can track who's clicking that, where it's coming from, things like that, which is phenomenal. And on TikTok, you need over 1,000 followers to be able to go live, which is another great way to start to. I mean, you could do this on TikTok live, honestly.
If you had enough followers.
Exactly.
And what gets people to, the other thing that I heard, and tell me if I'm wrong, is I heard that you can get followers pretty quickly on TikTok, more than on other sites. Why is that?
It's just the organic reach right now is through the roof. It's crazy how high organic reach is right now on TikTok. Like if you think like LinkedIn and whatever is high, like the amount of people that are on TikTok, whether they're your target demographic or not, they're out there. And so there's a bunch of like phases on how the algorithm works and like how it serves up your content. But ultimately, you can grow quicker on TikTok than any other platform right now.
Wow. So the thing that I think is sort of interesting for the people that follow me and fractional executives is very often, and these are, we're now talking about a massive population of people who have left their jobs, significant jobs, and are now building their own advisory businesses on a partial time basis. Their clients very well might be on TikTok. So if you have, let's say, you are a fractional CFO, your client very well could be, your potential clients or clients could be on TikTok if they are a SaaS company or if they're a CPG company or even a cannabis company. Very often they're servicing clients who are on TikTok. So let's just say I'm a fractional executive and I want to reach people in the manufacturing world. How would I do that on TikTok?
Yeah. So the
Let's say
one
they have a brand. Let's say they have a, a fashion brand or something.
Yeah, so the one beauty of TikTok is the way that the hashtags work. And
Okay.
so you're not penalized or anything with the number of hashtags that you use. It actually helps get your videos to your exact target audience. So you can hone in on your ICP, who you want to sell to, who you want to work with by using the hashtags that are specifically there. And it's a great way to get your videos to that group that maybe wouldn't have been seen before. So like you could, like on LinkedIn, they say use a maximum of 3 hashtags.
Correct.
On TikTok, you could use 30 if you really wanted to. You're not penalized for the number that you use, but it just funnels your video where you want it to go.
Wow. Interesting. Interesting. All right. So if I was going to get started on TikTok, what's the very first thing? Go to TikTok.com. And by the way, can you create your profile on your desktop or does it have to be on a mobile device?
So you can create it on your desktop. You can view videos on your desktop, but to create videos, you have to do it on your mobile,
Okay.
which is important. And so, I mean, what I would honestly do to get started is just record yourself sharing a couple of best practices, and you could create a series. Like I'm gonna record myself doing 10 best practices about XYZ that I know better than anyone else, and you create 10 short form videos, which is going to be the future of 2023. By the way, like short form video is absolutely the future.
That's so interesting you're bringing that up because I noticed that YouTube is heavily promoting YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And I find myself scrolling through them, a lot, much more than I do than the other videos. You're right. You're right. So short form. So it's a tough thing to learn how to consolidate or make your videos very concise. Got any tips for that?
I think it's just practice. Like you're gonna feel weird when you do your first video because if you're not used to recording yourself on your phone and staring at a back of a camera, you're gonna be like, wow, this is weird. And then you add in the ring light and everything to make the quality look better. It definitely takes a little bit to get used to, especially if you've never like recorded yourself on video before. However, at the end of the day, if no one watches the video, who cares? You're creating a content repository that you can then use in a lot of other places. And the thing is, on TikTok, if you use those TikTok videos on LinkedIn right now, it actually gives a favorable view. So you'll get actually more views on LinkedIn by using TikTok videos versus.
Oh my God. How do you know? How'd you learn that? That's so
So
amazing.
it was a lot of experimenting and talking with other creators that have noticed the same thing. And I have people that, have 100,000 followers on TikTok, and then they post those videos on LinkedIn. They absolutely blow up. And it's something to do with if people are scrolling and they see TikTok in a video, they're more willing to stop and watch versus just a native video. And there's been reports out there.
Curiosity too, also, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So the other thing I want to ask you for TikTok, now, I do a lot of work with professionals on renovating, and I mean, sometimes it's like to the ground and back up on their LinkedIn profiles. They leave a lot of real estate untended, underdeveloped, represented. They underrepresent themselves on their LinkedIn profiles, and there's a lot of great real estate on your LinkedIn profile. What's it like on TikTok? I find myself, like, for example, on Instagram, I find myself, finding Instagram very wanting in terms of being able to do good stuff for your profile. What's it like on TikTok?
Yeah, you only have like 3 lines, really. I mean, it's a very short window for what you have, and you have to maximize what that is. And so, like for me, I keep it pretty simple. I have like B2B marketer at Alice because I want people to know one that I'm a B2B marketer, the company that I work for. Two, I have that I'm located in Boston, and then I have I think three is like I talk about content creation and like the creator economy or something like that. And then the link below links to my link tree. And like, that's all I have on there. It's short, concise, to the point. People know who I am. They can follow or not follow. And every single day, there's more and more B2B people that are moving over to TikTok. And not as like, this is what I'm putting all my eggs in. But if LinkedIn or any of these platforms was to disappear tomorrow, what would you do? It's
Well,
all
that, I have to tell you, I'm so glad you're bringing this up because Twitter, I think a lot of people are now moving off of Twitter because it's very, I don't have to say anymore. It's just, what if it implodes, right? It's really looking like it might because I think a lot of people have gotten off there. I'm certainly not spending as much time on there. And what I did was I literally, it got so bad on there that I had over 7,000 followers and I just closed my account, right?
wow.
And I am worried because LinkedIn's very, very, it's very influential. Their SEO is really great. But what happens if they decide to make what happens if they change their whole strategy? Could happen, right? So we do need another platform. Instagram is primarily for tangible products and fashion and lifestyle. And TikTok has that reputation of being, as you said early on, very much for, millennials, and it's just goofy and fun. But if you're saying that B2B has a real opportunity here, then I really want our viewers or the audience that I speak to on a regular basis. The two things I took out of what you said today is that B2B is growing, number one, and number two, and really seriously, and number two, that LinkedIn, when you post a TikTok video on LinkedIn, it's getting favorable algorithmic attention from LinkedIn. And three, we need to have another platform to be ready with. So those are three really good reasons to do this. So yeah, anything else you want to add to that?
I would just say, I mean, just going back to that other piece, it's like the diversification aspect. Like we don't own the audiences on any of these social media platforms, which ultimately the goal is to build an email list or whatever so that you can communicate. Like that's what you own at the end of the day. And so like I realized that a little bit later, but like I have almost 42,000 followers on LinkedIn. If LinkedIn boots me off tomorrow because they feel like for whatever reason,
they ban you, right?
Yeah, I lose everything. I literally lose years of work, which I was like, all right, I don't want that. So like TikTok, and what I'm doing as well is that video that I'm recording for TikTok, I'm removing the watermark and I'm actually using it on Instagram Reels as well. Because again, short form content, Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok will be the three for short form content.
So let me just see this. So, it's interesting. You really made like 4 really good points. Short form content. We don't own our networks. We really have to be thinking carefully about this. LinkedIn's favoring TikTok videos. And we really need to have another audience, another platform to build on. It's great. How can people find you and get a hold of you and connect with you and learn more from you and tell us exactly where they can find you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is definitely the place where I spend most of my time. But, if you want to watch some of my videos on, marketing content and just general life, TikTok, it's at nickb_2005. Yeah, I graduated high school. So I use that in everything. But yeah, find me there. And if you want to listen to my new podcast that's coming out, it's called The Anonymous Marketer. It's all about the biggest questions in marketing that people are wondering about but are afraid to ask. So hopefully it provides value to you at some point in your life.
That's great. And is the podcast on all major podcast stations? Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
I love that. And who are you looking to reach, Nick? Who's your audience?
Yeah, so for me, it's just mostly B2B demand gen marketers, field marketers. Alice, we're a B2B gifting platform, so that's typically who we sell to. But ultimately, outside of Alice, like I'm not selling anything per se. I'm just hoping to provide value and see what I can do to help others.
And you're building your own personal brand, right?
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with me and with us today. I really appreciate it. I think our community is going to be surprised to learn how much of an opportunity TikTok really is. I think it's really the last thing I just want to say is I think a lot of us get very confronted by the fact that we have to learn another thing and another kind of platform and all of that. But you know what you've done for me today is I'm going to just give it a go. I'm going to do what you suggested. I'm going to take one of my LinkedIn posts, turn it into a little mini video, and see what happens. So you guys can all follow and see what kind of a fool I make of myself. But thank you so much, Nick, for being with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you everybody for being with us today. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.